folks, Drownkeeper96600 here. I know you're expecting commentary this week, but I think I owe you an explanation of what's going on. You see, some of you might have noticed, I know one of you definitely noticed, that my commentary for Gold Stars last week was taken down. That is because I received a copyright strike from YouTube, telling me that the review is in violation of copyright, or commentary, and that if I broke it anymore, my account would get deleted, which is great. No, it's not. It's the opposite of great. But anyway, I figured, I know you guys really like the commentary format, and I feel really bad, but I'm going to have to put a halt on that indefinitely, because it was pretty risky before, and I liked it, and I know you guys liked it, but, you know, it's too risky now. So I thought instead what I do is I do a review of the episode every week, because I feel like I could get my thoughts out more succinctly that way, so I feel like this will probably turn into more of a vlog type thing rather than commentaries, which is disappointing, but you know, show must go on and all that. I was going to do a reaction vid, but as I said before, I tried it, and reaction vids just don't work well with Adventure Time. I feel like, especially in this season, the episodes need to be watched and you need to pay attention to it and properly observe it. Instead of me yakking over an episode that I'm seeing for the first time. If it was an anime and there were subtitles, it'd be different, but, no. So, since I have to listen and pay attention, and because Adventure Time is so mind-blowing that you need to dwell on it a little bit before you form a solid opinion of it, the, reaction thing isn't gonna work. So, with that in mind, hello, it's been a while since you've actually seen me, and, let's talk about The Visitor. This week, I kind of knew going into it would be about Martin. Didn't really know anything else besides that. I saw the promo art they put on Tumblr of Finn holding the baby of himself, and I thought, oh god, are we gonna do time travel stuff again? Because I don't want to do timey-wimey stuff again, because I thought maybe it was gonna be like Martin isn't Finn's dad, like Finn is his own dad, through some kind of weird budding process. But that's not what they did, and I'm so relieved, because that would have been lame, and kind of would have undermined, I think, the arc they're going for with Martin. But anyway, let's start beginning with Finn's dream sequence. So he dreams that he's underwater, in the ocean specifically, and specifically it seems to be the ocean from that episode, like, the Fear Feaster episode, I don't remember what it's called, where to try to cure Finn his fear of the ocean, they like go underwater and they see the ravages of the Mushroom War with the buildings and the cars partly submerged in the sand and all that stuff. It looks like that in Finn's dream he was in that specific area. And there seems to be a lot of callback to not only the Fear Feaster episode where Finn's fear of the ocean was first established, but also to the last episode of last season, which was Billy's Bucket List, which is where Finn got over his fear of the ocean. And if you recall, in that episode, that was the one where Finn also found out that his father was alive. And during Martin's story, he talks about how they were on a boat and how everything in the ocean was trying to kill Finn. I feel like that story might have been fabricated and should probably be taken with a whole cupful of salt, which would kill you. But there's definitely a connection between Finn's father and the ocean. And the fact that he gets over his fear right before he finds out about Martin is pretty suggestive. I'm not sure what it's suggestive of. Also in that dream sequence, he holds baby Finn, and baby Finn says, don't let go, okay? Don't drop me. And Finn says, I'll never let you go. That's true. That was kind of sweet, but also later in the episode where Martin's telling his story to Finn of where he came from, the story about the boat and the destiny and all that, and he says, I always meant to come back for you, but I didn't. That's true. Like, they said the same thing. They echoed the same words, so I don't know if that's supposed to be an indicator of the father-son genetic thing, that they say the same thing even though they grew up, like Finn grew up totally apart from him, or if it's supposed to be some kind of callback to that dream, like maybe Martin really did always mean to come back for him, but why didn't he? Was it because he was thrown in prison, or is he just lying? So yeah. There was a little bit of humor in this episode. I especially like the vulture joke, where that vulture is sitting next to Finn, and Finn's like, how long have I been sleepwalking? He's like, 2 days at least. It's like, I'm gonna go get some water. And the vulture's like, no, oh. Like, I feel like that's a joke that it might take younger kids, like, a second to get. Like, they get it, but they'd have to think about it for a second. It's like, just how, like, bummed out he sounded. I'm like, maybe next time, vulture. So yeah, also, Martin Martin is exceptionally annoying in a way that I think a lot of people can relate to. Like, we all know, we've all met a person like Martin in real life who is, I'm convinced that Martin is a sociopath. He thinks that everything is about him. He's really manipulative. He lies, and it's hard for him to tell what he's lying about. He seems to have no moral scruples when it gets to getting other people to do stuff. And, yeah, I mean, I don't study psychology or anything. That's not an official diagnosis, but he seemed pretty to me. Like, Martin's, like, Finn said that, I think back in Pajama War, that Martin is, not like a dad. He's like a kid in a grown man's body. He said something like that, and it's like, yeah, very selfish, poorly manipulative kid. Like, before, Martin didn't want anything to do with him, but when, like, Finn comes to see me again, he's like, hey, kiddo, how's it going, you know? Because he wants Finn's help, so he's trying to make him feel bad for not helping him, or trying emotionally manipulating him into thinking that there's still a connection so that he'll help him with the ship. And then I guess he offers to bring him along later so that maybe he'll keep helping him, or maybe he wants a socket monkey and then he'll dump him off someplace. I don't know, but it was just... Like, I know there are dads out there really like Martin who just really don't care about their kids, and, like, the way he talks, like, he's always saying stuff that, like, sounds, like, you all know about the dad who, like, constantly saying stuff that sounds like life lessons, but it's actually not, it's just nonsense. It's really stupid nonsense. Like, or he says, like, something about, well, like, when the ship is heating up, and Finn's like, is the ship supposed to be cooking? And he's like, no, but, you know, that's life. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You crazy man. And when Finn walked in and saw that Martin's arm was missing, it turns out it wasn't. That was low. And if you notice, it was the right arm, which is the same arm that he's using to hold the little villager guy in the title card. So it's like, yeah, an emphasis on the arm that Finn wanted to tear off, and it shows that it's still doing bad things. Let's talk about the villager people, because they're pretty cute. Their design actually kind of reminds me of those, I know you've seen them, those, like, stress clowns that you, like, squeeze them and their eyes bug out. I'm pretty sure that's intentional. They're really nice, really mellow people who know that Martin's manipulating them, but are helping him out anyway. And, I feel like, even though they want to help out and they don't seem that upset with it, I feel like the show still frames what Martin's doing to them as the wrong thing to do. Like, the phrase is taking advantage of people's kindness for a reason. Like, even just because people are willing to do horrible shit doesn't mean you should do horrible shit to them, right? You still have to treat people with a certain degree of decency. What the little people actually reminded me of was, and what the whole situation in general reminds me of is, when, like, people who are manipulative or even abusive in real life, there's always people who insist on treating them nicely, even though they're jackasses, and they're told several times they're jackasses. And I don't want to name any names, but I actually follow a person on Tumblr who is, like, there's one person that he's called out that has apparently hurt a bunch of people. And whenever people come forward, and whenever he, like, criticizes this person or says what they've done, a bunch of people will come to the person he's criticizing's defense and say, stop picking on them, you're drawing attention to them, they don't know what they're doing, and they try to befriend that person. And this always happens, and it's like there's always somebody who wants to play devil's advocate, except not with ideas, but with people. And this idea comes up, and it's part of the reason that Stockholm Syndrome happens. It's like this idea that people, like, think that they're special, that they can see the good in someone, that they can help somebody when nobody else wanted to, that they can extend the hand to the black sheep, as it were, and, like, be that person who has such a deep heart they can help and see goodness even when other people can't. And I'm sorry, that's really dangerous. And not only is it dangerous, it's actually kind of arrogant to think that you can be the one person that you should help out because that will just make you so good inside. It's like, no, you're gonna get hurt if you do that, and these people did that, and they got hurt. Pretty badly hurt. And if Finn hadn't bailed them out, they probably would have been in a lot of trouble. By the way, I do like that line where he says, everything's ruined, everybody's fat. I'm like, That's what most people think about America today. I'm an American, I can say that. Everybody else can say it too, whatever. You might not know this, but Americans are used to other countries trash talking us. And yet we act like we're not. Why is that? Whatever. So where else was I going with this? Oh yeah, I do like the bit where like Finn can't take it anymore. He just pulls the starter plug on the back of the ship and he smiles as Martin sails away. It's like, bye. No, it was a totally serene smile too. It wasn't even a smug smile, it's just the nightmare is over. I'm sort of wondering why the starter is on the back of the escape pod. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Because that means somebody else has to pull it. Whatever. It's funny. Something else I want to say about Martin is that Martin seems like I feel like this would just be repeating myself, but I have relatives who are like Martin. And, people who, like, make everything about themselves. Like, they'll start off sounding like they're sympathetic to you, but then they'll twist that into a way to say how bad they have it. And, like, I think everybody's family has at least one person like this. And, they say they want to help, but they don't. And, they say a lot of stuff, and it's just, they're constantly playing mind games. But, we just shake our head every time Martin's on screen because he's so disappointing. But, when Finn was being all heroic and going in, and when he was pulling the hatch to open the heat dump, which I'm not going to make a joke about because I'm too mature, and he looks like he can't do it, but the little guy comes out and leans against him, and that gives him the courage to do it. Finn is not like Martin, okay? He might share his genes, and he might say the same thing as him once in a while, and they might have some things in common, but Finn is a totally different person. You know who Finn is like in that moment? Joshua, because Joshua wouldn't back down from something dangerous. And yeah, Joshua was manipulative. Yeah, he wasn't always ideal, but you know what? He was a better hero than Martin ever could be, or wants to be, or is trying to be. Martin's just a human-shaped pile of shit. Anyway, I was gonna say one other thing. Oh yeah, let's talk about Martin's story. Martin says that he doesn't always lie. I do like it when he said it's like Finn's like, is there a way for me to tell when you're lying or telling the truth? And he goes, ha, I hope not. God. But yeah, so we really don't know how much of what he's saying is true, or if any of it is true. Finn does have a fear of the ocean, so the thing about the traumatizing thing on the ocean might have happened to some degree, but there's a lot of details on it that don't make sense. Like, a tiger was trying to eat him on a boat in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. That's nuts. And, also, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, when he got really evasive about his mother, and, like, the way that Martin talked about it made it seem like he was making it up as he goes. But when he said, talking about your mom stresses me out, like, was he trying to get out of talking about it at all because he honestly didn't remember, or is he, like, does he just, I don't know. And if he always meant to come back for Finn, why didn't he? Unless he's just lying. I said that already. Yes, I did. I'm trying to remember everything he said about his story. You were born on a banana boat, even though the boat in the flashback didn't look like a banana boat. Maybe Martin just doesn't know what a banana boat is. That'd be funny. Checking the time, still good. Okay, a bunch of things were trying to eat him, and Martin had to embark on some kind of big journey thing and couldn't take Finn along, so he dumped him on a mountain. I guess. I don't know. The truth is a finicky mistress, especially when you're trying to get it from a pathological liar. Oh yeah, let's talk about that comet. The imagery in Finn's dream with the comet really looked like a sperm. And I looked on Tumblr, and I know some other people noticed that too, like with the long curvy tail and the way it was like swimming around. It's like, that's a sperm. And the color was right too. And I pointed this out in another video, but one of Finn's past lives was a comet. So I don't know if he was supposed to be attracted to this comet, or if there's another one. Like, is the comet that they showed at the end of Evergreen the same as Martin's ship? It looked like it was the same color, but I really don't know enough at this point to comment on it. I think maybe the comet might be more a